Very good morning, very good evening to all. Jai Shri Krishna Guruji. Welcome to the Shri Ekanathi Bhagavad Satsang. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswataya Namaha, Om Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha, Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So we will be continuing Shri Ekanathi Bhagavad, chapter 2. We'll be continuing from verse 2 onwards. O king, by following these courses of action, a person will not make any mistake, and even if he runs with his eyes closed, he will not stumble or fall in this world. One who does not know what are Vedas or the books of law, but follows the path of devotion only by faith, and thus conducts his life according to the rules of Bhagavata, is not affected by failure. In following the rules laid down by the sciences, and as his faith is very strong, no sin is committed by him even in his dream. It's actually very beautiful what he's saying. What is he saying? He's saying for those one who does not know the Vedas, what Vedas are. Nobody understands Vedas or the books of law, but follows the path of devotion only by faith, and thus conducts his life according to the rules of Bhagavata. And what is Bhagavata? Bhagavata is the way of life. It is about love and devotion, and is not affected by failure in following the rules laid down by the sciences. And as his faith is very strong, no sin is committed by him even in his dream. This is very powerful. So what does it tell us? It tells us simply that it is only devotion. It is only through faith, absolute faith. And faith unto whom? Lord Shri Krishna Bhagwan. You just need to have that faith and love and devotion for him. That is all is required. You don't need to follow any Vedas. You don't need to study it. You don't need to understand what are the rules, what should you do, the rituals, practices. Nothing is required. And in fact, as we progress along this scripture, you will understand that Krishna Bhagwan himself is telling Uddhava that you don't have to follow any rites, rituals, nothing. And he says, only having love and devotion for me is good enough. You will attain me. But most important, we have to serve the purpose of our existence, which means what? You have come with a swadharma, which is the purpose of why you're born in this earth. And doing your duties is a very important thing. And that is what we have to follow. And how do you do your duty? With love and devotion. And devotion to whom? Unto Shri Krishna Bhagwan. So let us continue. If this way of religion is followed, he is not affected by action or lack of action, but the Supreme Person, the Lord, is pleased with him by his devotion alone. So who is pleased? Lord Shri Krishna Paramatma is pleased. He is pleased with your devotion alone. And it does not matter to you what religion, whether you're following your religion or not. It doesn't even matter at all. All it requires is you must have, your heart filled with love and devotion for the Lord, because he resides over there. And that is what is extremely important. Normally, Shruti and Smriti, that is Vedas and books of law, are two eyes. But those who are blind, because they do not know them, cannot fail in any way, because they follow the path of devotion with great faith. So what is being told? See the Vedas, right? The Shruti and Smriti, which is one is the Vedas and the second is the books of law. Now, for a man who's blind and they don't follow it, nothing affects him. Similarly, what is he saying? Because they don't know that. Whether there is something like that, you don't even know. But for those who do not know the Vedas or the laws, cannot fail in any way. Why? Because they follow the path of devotion with great faith. And for the devotees of the Lord, none of these laws are applicable. But please understand, when you are in the material world, you have to follow certain norms. That is called the way of life. And who's describing this way of life? Krishna Bhagwan himself is describing the way of life. And that is the way of life you need to follow. It is not about what your society has told you, what you have learned from your parents, your forefathers or any of those people, because they themselves don't know. So here, Krishna Bhagwan is teaching Uddhava this. And he's telling, how do you follow this way of life? What is this way of life all about? That is called the Bhagavata Dharma. And now here it's so beautifully explained that when you have this devotion, you don't even have to do anything else besides having absolute faith and devotion unto him. So let us continue. O king, please remember that without love of God, the knowledge of Vedas, etc., without love, meditation and worship, and without love, listening to sermons and singing songs in the Kirtana are all futile. So what is the most important word? God is love. So what Sri Krishna Bhagavan is saying? That you need to have love. Without love, nothing that you do even matters. It doesn't even work. So what is he saying? O king, please remember that without love of God, the knowledge of Vedas, etc., without love, meditation and worship, and without love, listening to sermons and singing songs in the Kirtana are all futile. Everything is worthless. Simple as that. So what's the foundation of attaining Lord Shri Krishna Bhagavan? Love and devotion. This is the fundamental thing that you need to have. Love. And love comes how? You have to open up your heart. You have to open up everything. You have to surrender unto his lotus feet. And you have to have absolute faith. And once you do that, the love grows. It grows slowly. And most important, when, with the purification of your heart, the love grows deeper and deeper. And how does that happen? So when we read the scriptures, we imbibe them and we practice. Practice, most important. And love for whom? See, Guru is the doorway to God. It is the manifest. The Lord, the Lord embodies himself through the Guru. So the love for the Guru is very critical for you to achieve love for God. So that is how it works. So let us continue. When a child sees its mother, it playfully closes its eyes and blindly runs towards her, and the mother also with equal love runs towards the child and lifts it to her bosom. Similarly, when a devotee loves God totally, the God also being overpleased, walks with him at every step. And this is something you need to understand. It's very beautiful. See, my Guruji has always taught, it's what you give comes to you in 1,000 times back. So if you offer love, God will give you love alone. But if you offer hatred, the hatred is going to come back to you 1,000 times. If you offer anger, anger is going to be reciprocated. So similarly, whatever you offer to him, it's in reciprocation, he's going to give you that 1,000 times back. So that is why it is very critical for us to always be in love. Think good thoughts. Think good, speak good, do good. This is a very important lesson. See, we forget, what happens when we are angry or our mind is working, our thoughts are always negative. See, please understand how to recognize your mind. The mind is always going to see the downside of everything in life, come what may. And the sadhana one must do in spirituality, or even when you're even just learning, even as a simple human being, is not to think anything negative. See all the upsides. Can you see God in everything? Can you see the upside of life? See, whatever happens in life happens for good alone. And this is absolute conviction one must have. See, we're always going to blame things. Oh, my life is not good. Something bad is happening to me. Please understand, in every bad, there is always something very good coming out. But we don't know why we can't see. So the mind is always going to show you the downside of life, and it is always going to have negative thoughts. It's going to say you're not well, you're not doing great, you're looking ugly. It's always going to say the downside. It's always going to pull you down. But you know what? The love for God, it's always going to show you how beautiful you are. So why? Because God is that mother. He's given you the birth. He's inside of your heart. So how can the mother not love her child? And the entire creation, every creature, every sentient and insentient being, be it animate or inanimate objects, they're all the creation of the divine Lord. So do you think that God is not going to love his creation? He's going to love equally everybody. And especially when they are the devotees of the Lord, his love is more. And you know what he's saying here? Similarly, when a devotee loves God totally, the God also being overpleased, walks with him at every step. He's always with you. It is just you have to look around. You might think, oh, physically he's not present. Please understand, he's actually communicating with you. He's with you, he's lifting you and walking. But only thing is, we can't see it. But for that, you just have to look around, have that faith, and you will see miracles around you all the time. And he's showing you, look, I am constantly with you. It's not a moment that I am away from you, because it's your love, and he's your mother. He's the greatest mother that exists in this entire universe. So why do you think he's not going to be with you? That's the conviction you need to have. When the devotee thus follows the Bhagavata Dharma, way of life, He may commit an action or he may fail to take right action. It will not affect him. Because the Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Person, who is the founder of the rules of action, is himself the center of the devotee's meditation. How profound, how beautiful. So what is he saying? Forget about everything else. You might not follow the Vedas. You don't know what Vedas are. You don't know what the rules are. It doesn't matter. But what is required? Love. And most important, when the devotee follows the Bhagavata, which is the way of life, which is as described by Lord Sri Krishna Bhagwan. So what happens? He may commit an action or he may fail to take the right action. It's not going to affect you. It doesn't even matter, because the Lord is always on your side. Because the Lord Krishna, because the Lord Krishna, the Supreme Person, who is the founder of the rules of action, who's the founder? The Father, the founder of the rules of action, is himself the center of the devotee's meditation. Means what? So in your mind, in your heart, you're only chanting his name. You're 24/7 only thinking of Krishna Bhagwan. You're not thinking about anybody else. There's nobody else, because your Krishna Bhagwan is the center of your meditation. Even if you eat, you sleep, you breathe, you're only thinking of him. So who's going to, even come in your way, whatever actions you do or not do? Because please understand, the founder of these actions, the rules, everything is him alone. So when he is with you, none of these things are applicable. How beautiful is that? In short, where Govinda, the essence of self-joy, is accompanying the devotee in deep love, the do's and don'ts of law cannot enter at all. How can they affect him? Such devotee does not make any mistake. This is again even very profound. What is he saying? In short, where Govinda, the essence, he's the very essence of the self-joy. The self is the divine Lord himself, is accompanying the devotee. He's always with the devotee and in deep love. The devotee is in love with him. The Lord is in love with his devotees. The do's and don'ts of the law. See, understand, when you are in the material world, there are a lot of do's and don'ts exist, because you are in the living as a body. You are in a particular realm. You are in this earth. You are doing your duties. So the do's and don'ts does apply to you. And here the do's and don'ts are what? There are action, there's inaction, there is also prohibited action. All those things are there. And there are a lot of things about karma. So a lot of do's and don'ts exist. But when you are in deep love with the divine Lord, the do's and don'ts of law cannot enter at all. But which means you have to be 100% in love and devotion with the divine Lord. You are living and breathing only him, nothing else, because there's no attachment for you. Besides him, there is nothing else matters. So you're constantly only in thought of him. You're not thinking about, oh, I have a family, this is my house. You're not attached. You're not in that bondage. Then this law does not apply to you. The do's and don'ts doesn't apply to you. See, in the material world, when you're not in the spiritual, on the spiritual path, please understand, in the material world, people follow certain do's and don'ts. Those things apply to them. But when you come to the spirit, in the path of spirituality, then when your guru is going to give you the instructions, and you only have to do what your guru does, because you're following him. So when you follow your Gurudev, you have to do exactly whatever your guru instructs you to do. Then the do's and don'ts which is in the material world doesn't apply to you. But till you do not get to that stage, you still are going to be bound by the do's and don'ts of the material world. So that is what happens. But for a devotee of the Lord, this do's and don'ts does not apply. And what does he say? How can they affect him? It doesn't affect. Such devotees does not make any mistake, which means their devotion is the highest. They are run by the divine Lord. They are only listening to the rule book of what Sri Krishna Bhagwan has instructed them. They only follow what he ordains them to do. So you have to be such a highest devotee. For example, a doorman cannot prevent the son of his boss from entering in his house. Similarly, the consideration of good or bad karma cannot affect a devotee of such pure faith. So what does your guru does? He destroys your karma. The karma gets destroyed when you meet your guru. But please understand, the karma can only be destroyed provided you are walking this path. Not otherwise. Because you can't have one feet. Yes, today, till you do not come completely 100% in spiritual, you're still going to do your material worldly duties, because as a body you are supposed to do. But most important is you have to follow this 100%. You have to live untouched, unaffected, like how Krishna Bhagavan lives. When he embodies himself, what does he do? He does everything. He's going to eat, he's going to do everything, but he's not attached. The detachment is very critical. And when you do that, then none of these rules are applicable to you. So what does he say here? Yes. So when you are the son of a boss, he's giving an example. How can a boss's son be stopped by a doorman? He cannot. Similarly, he's saying the consideration of good or bad karma cannot affect a devotee of such pure faith. So what happens? What does your guru teach you? He teaches you how to do nishkam karma, means selfless action, where whatever action that you perform, it does not convert itself into karma, karmic debt. There is no karma accruing to your account. And what does the guru does? He destroys this karma. He destroys everything. But the prarabdha you have to go through, which is already understood, and most important, the prarabdha also gets cushioned. So that is what happens, but for which you have to be a very good disciple and a devotee. The man who has faith in the devotion to God finds that the provisions of the law of karma becomes his slaves. The Lord of the world himself becomes very happy by the purity of his faith. Now here is a very important word, purity of his faith. How pure is your faith? Which means the faith is not 99.99%. The faith is 100%. See, the Lord is always going to constantly test you out. Why? Because he wants to see that the foundation of faith, the foundation of spirituality is based on this faith in him. If this faith is less even by 0.1%, the temple will crumble and fall. The temple cannot be established on that flimsy faith. So the faith has to be absolute. So what does your guru do? He's constantly going to test this faith of yours. How much faith do you have in his words? And he's going to project that maya for you. He means he personally will not do. His universe works accordingly. Means what? We have our tendencies, we have our inherent nature, we have lot of our Shatripus, that is the 6 enemies of human beings, and everybody has some bondage, attachment, all these things. So how do you overcome all that? Constantly by listening. Then you have to practice. Sadhana is very important. Means you have to consciously overcome your limitations, and that test is going to constantly come to you to see whether your ego is going to stand at that time or it has surrendered to the divine Lord. That is the lotus feet of your Gurudev. And if your ego comes in, that means that lesson has not been imbibed by you. So which means you have to continue to learn. So these tests keeps coming on constantly, no matter at what stage of your progress you are. It doesn't matter at all. And there is no stage. Please understand that the path of spirituality is to eternity. We continue to go through that process and the learning process in every birth of ours. And we meet the Guru so that our progress can happen. So it's a very important thing that you understand. These tests are going to come constantly. So which means your faith in the Guru is absolutely important. So that is why he's saying a very important word. It's called the purity of your faith. You can't have even, 1% doubt in that. I always give this example, which my Guruji will give. There is a bottle of, Ganga Jal, that is Ganga water. 1 drop of potassium cyanide in that makes it a poison. Even if I tell you it is Ganga water, you are not going to drink. Why? Because it's a poison. Similarly, 1 doubt in your heart, that faith is destroyed. So that is why the faith has to be absolute. So don't forget this. And that's why, so what is he saying? The Lord of the world becomes very happy by the purity of his faith. So the purity of your faith will make the divine Lord very happy. Actually, if any action remains to be performed because a devotee is fully busy in his devotion, the Supreme Person is more pleased. It is a delusion of foolish people to believe that the loving devotees of God are also affected by karma. This is again beautiful. What is he saying here? Actually, if any action remains to be performed because a devotee is fully busy in his devotion, the Supreme Person is more pleased. It is a delusion of a foolish people to believe that the loving devotees of God are also affected by karma. See, karma doesn't touch us until, when we have completely in love and devotion with the divine Lord. And the next important thing is we are serving his purpose alone. And most important, when we are completely dedicated our life to that cause and we are only lost in love and devotion to him, nothing affects us. Though the way how the world looks at the devotees is very unique, because people in the material world cannot understand. Please know this. When you come to the other side, or when you are slowly understanding or evolving in your spiritual path, when you are standing on the side of the divine Lord, that is your Gurudev, you will see that the world cannot see what you see. You can see how everybody is operating in the world of Maya, and to them they will think you are a very foolish person because they believe that you're doing something wrong. Very simple. I visited someone, and this was last year when I was in Singapore. I visited one of my friend's place, and very interestingly, I was seeing his mother, who was doing, some prayers. She was reading, but in the background there was a TV going on. I mean, there was a TV on, and there was something played on the TV, and I was telling her, how can you sit and read about God or whatever that you're doing? It's a prayer. Why have you kept the TV on in the background? Because then it's a disrespect. But then the problem is they have an ego, and where they feel, no, I'm doing everything right. I'm very devoted to God. But this is not called devotion. If you're focusing on that prayer, you have to be 100% in that. You can't have something else going on and parallelly you're doing this, which means it's a disrespect to what you're doing. And plus, when you say something to the person brings in the ego and says, oh, you don't tell me, I'm very devoted. Now, how do you go and talk to somebody who has so much ego? See, in the world of God, ego is the first thing which needs to be destroyed. You can't say I'm a great devotee, because that great itself is a pride. You can't say I'm the highest devotee. That highest, when you say that I am, means you are bringing your ego, saying, oh, I am the highest devotee. The moment you praise yourself, you will fall down. You will be, that's going to be your biggest failure. My Krishna Guruji will always teach me, never ever have the self praise. Never ever say you're very good. Never say this, oh, I am great, I am this, I am that. No, we are not great. God is great. And we are just a tool in his hands. And we have to be very humble, not let our ego get to our head. Both, see, success and failure. What happens when you're successful? You become pride. You become very arrogant. It gets to your head. It gets to a person's head. That's a human nature. And when you fail, it affects in your heart big time. You're hurtful. You just feel so bad about everything. So what does Bhagavad Gita teach? What does Krishna Bhagavan give this lesson about? It is called the equanimity of mind, which means whether you're successful or failure, nothing should affect you, because the end result is never in our hands. And so whatever comes, we just have to say it is the will of the divine Lord. And you have to accept both, whether it is success or failure, very graciously. And please understand, the secret of attaining Krishna Bhagavan is very simple. Do you know where you can find him? In the state of equanimity of mind. And this is a very important lesson which is not so easy to achieve. And you have to do so much of sadhana and so much of practice to attain the equanimity of mind. It is called the centeredness. And the divine Lord is there. When you attain equanimity of mind, it is that state where you can achieve him and you can experience him. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna Bhagavan has very beautifully explained this lesson. And that is what we don't understand. So it is very critical that we understand that nothing that we do, whatever the karma that is there, when you listen to your Gurudev, ever affects you, because he's destroying that karma. But in the world, they always think, oh, they are not doing, they are not following, because people believe if you are spiritual, means according to them is the rituals. They only understand rituals. So when they see somebody in spiritual and not doing certain things, to them it feels we are doing something wrong. So you can't compare how they do and what you do. So you have to only follow the ways taught as per the Bhagavata Dharma, that is the way of life, as taught by Sri Krishna Bhagavan. If at all an error is committed by the devotee, miraculously the Lord himself becomes manifest as that mistake. This is so profound. What does he say? He is destroying it. Ajmila was actually destined to suffer the effects of his bad karma, and the messengers of God of death had come to take him to Yama's region. But only by the power of the sacred name of Narayana, which he uttered, the Lord met him and saved him. The devotee employs the swadharma and karma as the bearers of his palanquin and sleeps in it, which is of devotion. So if he falls down, who will be punished? Swadharma and karma that carry his palanquin get the punishment. How beautifully is described. This is a very interesting example he is giving. What is he saying? The devotee employs the swadharma. Swadharma, the purpose of your birth. Why have you got this body? Why have you met your Gurudev? What is your purpose? That is your swadharma. You're born with that unique capability. You are on a God's mission. Please understand. You are not here to enjoy your material world and get lost in that. You are born for a mission, and that is why you meet your Guru. The highest goal is to attain God realization, number one. Number two is to serve the divine Lord. You have come with that responsibility and you have to do your swadharma. And what is he saying? And karma. As the bearers of his palanquin, and sleeps in it, which is of devotion. So what is he saying? When you have the devotion, and this is the bearers of the palanquin, which is your swadharma and karma. So if he falls down, who will be punished? So if you're going to make a mistake, who is going to be punished? Swadharma and karma that carry his palanquin get the punishment. So you are not going to be punished. But please understand, for that, your devotion has to be the highest. Like Mirabai, like Tukaram Maharaj, like Saint Kabir. And we can go on. They are the great devotees of the Lord. Mirabai even drank the poison and it turned Amrit, means nectar. But she never questioned. See, when we are put into that condition, you know what? The first question is, as a normal human being, what happens is, God, why are you doing this to me? Why are you putting me in this trouble? Why is this happening to me? Please understand, if you need to be turned into gold, the purest form of gold, the impurities have to go away. You have to be put into that fire. And when you are going to be, in the fire, it is going to hurt. It's going to burn because that impurities have to be destroyed. So the 100%, the purity of your faith doesn't shine till you're not put into those situations. So that's called the test. And that is what is very important to go through. And then you have to stand tall in that test. Please understand, the Lord is with you. You don't have to be afraid of anything. See, this is where the disciples, make a mistake. What's a mistake they make? They commit. They get scared. What comes in is fear. Oh, what is going to happen? What is the world going to talk about me? You know why? The world going to talk about you, the attachment to the body. You think somebody is going to say something bad to you. Your parents might say, your husband might say, your children might say, whatever that is. The society might call you names. But this is what has to be destroyed. Because understand, all that is Maya, that is unreal. So when the divine Lord is with you, you don't have to bother about any of those things. And when you understand then this important lesson, the most important lesson, you will stand pure, you will stand tall in the purity of your faith. And that time, come what may, nothing will deter you in that moment of your test. You will know, you will very surely say, my Lord is with me, my Gurudev is with me, nothing shall befall on me. This conviction you have. And you know what? Every step that you take, every answer that you give will be the words of the wisdom of your divine Lord. The words that will come from your mouth will be the words of the wisdom of divine Lord, which will be absolutely right. But the moment you are fearful, do you know, it's your mind which will talk. And every word that you will say, you're going to make a million mistakes. You're going to say everything wrong because your mind is talking there. So this is the difference you have to understand. Then, thus by the power of God's devotion, these can be punished. The framework of Varna and Ashrama, status in society and status in life according to stage, can be broken, and the bondage of karma can be burnt totally. I already explained. All this gets destroyed. By how? By just devotion, absolute devotion to Krishna Bhagwan. It's a very important lesson. We don't understand this, and this is what your Gurudev is doing for you. But, but your effort also is required. It's not just one-sided, but you have to also put in effort. See, you walk one step, God walks 10 steps forward. But you take one step backward, he walks 10 steps backwards too. It is what you give is what you get. So that is why it's important. Always watch your thoughts. The words you speak. You have to weigh your words, especially when you are in the world of spiritual, because the divine power is around you. You need to understand, and He's also listening. Where is He listening? He's in your heart. What you have not uttered is what I is always I hear. Means what? Even if you don't say something, what you have not uttered is what I always hear. Means He's hearing to everything that you are talking in your mind. You might not even be saying. So be very watchful of your thoughts, because it is very important. Our thoughts matter, and every wrong thought is going to lead you to your downfall. So be very careful about how you think. That is why sadhana is important, and that is why doing the pranayama is very important, so that you have your mind in the control. In short, Swadharma and Karma are poor servants of the devotees who follow the Bhagavata way of life. They cannot stand before the devotees. How can they affect them at all? How beautiful. So what happens? So when you follow the Bhagavata way of life, the Karma, that is the Swadharma, in short, Swadharma and Karma are the poor servants. The Karma is your servant. Means what? So everything gets destroyed. You will be on an autopilot. Means your life is just going to be going like a flow of the river. Your Gurudev is going to be the charioteer, who's going to run your life. Then you don't even have to worry about anything. You just have to do it. This morning my Guruji was talking to me. He said, what does Bhagavad Gita stand for? Simply he was just teaching me something, and I said, the whole of Bhagavad Gita is what you've been always telling. Just do it. Simple, 3 words. Don't even think. The moment you bring in your mind is when the karma starts. Just do it. Why are you bothered about what is going to be the outcome? What somebody are going to say? Will I win? Will I fail? Will I lose? It doesn't matter. Doership is the most important thing, and today that is what is missing, because we're all afraid. We don't know. This morning's lesson was very powerful. The supreme divine consciousness, Tripura, is the vidya, the knowledge that is there within us. It automatically works. Many times when my Guruji initially has told, Rajma, you need to do the satsangs, I have always said, how can I teach? I don't know. And I don't know. The first thing we say is, I don't know. Means what? Who is this I? The I cannot know. But when you say, yes, I can, who's going to give this knowledge? It is Tripura herself will speak. I am not the one who's talking here. The knowledge is not mine. There is no I here. I cannot know. I doesn't know. Knowledge is. And knowledge is universal. It is the consciousness. It is Tripura herself. It's a Vidya. And this Vidya is covered. How is it covered? Because of our ignorance. Layers and layers and layers of ignorance has covered this Vidya. And where does this knowledge exist? It is within us. But to bring it out, we first have to give up all this identity, the limitations, the inability to do. Whatever we say, I can't do this, I don't know this, you have to overcome and put every step forward and see how the magic happens. Even if you think you don't know, you can still do it. You know. And this morning's lesson was a very important thing. My Guruji was telling why it is so important for us to put forward put your foot forward and doing it. He will always say, put your foot forward and keep going ahead. Don't stop. The doership is what is missing today. And we all feel, oh, somebody else knows more, somebody else less. No, it doesn't matter. No matter what you know or not know, it doesn't matter. Just do it. The knowledge will open up. Knowledge shines. The Guru is the illuminer of this knowledge. He is uncovering you, the ignorance which you have covered. The moment you say, I don't know, you have added one more layer. So what happens? You might have gone 10 steps ahead. Now you have come back 100 steps. And now to reach the 10 steps, you have to put 1,000 times more effort. This is what happens. So you might have uncovered a little bit, but the moment you give negativity to yourself, you again cover that knowledge. So this is what happens, and this is something we have to avoid. O King, I will tell you the secret way of devotion. This knowledge is related to the details of various codes of conduct and explains how action is offered to God. So what is it being said? So now he's saying, now when the karma is destroyed and when you are in devotion, and what is important? Now everything opens up as you evolve. See, when, say for example, Mirabai, she was so devoted. Those poetry that she wrote, those beautiful bhajans she sang for Krishna Bhagwan, is not her words. It is the words of Divine Lord. Imagine Adi Shankaracharya, who composed the Madhurashtakam and Guru Paduka Stotram, Guru Ashtakam, so many beautiful compositions, Krishna Ashtakam. And what does he do there? It is his devotion. Those are the words of the divinity itself. So when you become one with the divine Lord, the words flow from your mouth. The knowledge shines. The knowledge reveals itself. You don't even have to do anything. You just have to practice. What is important? You have to open the scripture. You have to learn. And today he gave a very important lesson. And what did he see? He says, see, when we hear, what happens? We take in. It doesn't go inside. It doesn't go upside. It goes, it goes out of another ear. But when you read, what is happening? It's imbibing inside. When you read, you're cogitating, you're contemplating, you're trying to understand. Understanding means contemplating. And when you do that, the knowledge seeps in. So reading is a must. So my Guruji will always say, so stop trying to listen. Listen is one aspect. You have to listen to the knowledge. You have to read. But on your own, every single day, you must practice reading. Going and reading, even whatever, the 30 minutes, give yourself the time to read, because Vidya is very important. When this knowledge shines, Tripura, she'll be very happy and she'll reveal herself. And that's what was written so beautifully in Tripura Rahasyam. And she herself is giving this knowledge to whom? She is teaching, she is imparting this knowledge to the deities, that is the gods. Because she is the supreme divine consciousness. You can call it Tripura, you can call it Krishna Bhagwan. It is him who's giving that knowledge. So we have to open our heart. So purity of faith, and understand it is in devotion that everything reveals itself and your karmas completely gets destroyed. And your avidya, that is ignorance, also gets uncovered with the grace of your Guru. The next one is a very long one. So we will stop here and we'll continue tomorrow. So thank you for joining Sri Ekanathi Bhagavad Satsang. Have a good day and good evening to you all. God bless.
Recording stopped.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel.